are you?
Nice to meet you. I'm Janeshia.
Janeshia, I'm Hugh. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you,
Yeah,
Hugh.
Thank you.
So first, I'm just gonna start by telling you a little bit about myself. And I am a MSW student at the University of Georgia, and I do not have a license. I don't have a degree yet, so I just want to let you know that before we get started. Also, I want to talk to you about something called mandatory reporting. Now, that is basically when I have to report something that you tell me if I feel like you're a harm to yourself or a harm to others. Other than that, anything that you say in this space is going to stay right here, between me and you. And I just want to make sure that you're comfortable and, ready to just get into whatever you want to talk about. So, what about telling me a little bit about yourself and then just tell me a little bit about why you're here?
Yeah, so I am 32. I have been having a hard time leaving the house. To get here today was pretty terrifying. I have a hard time just meeting people, being out in public. So yeah, that's the main issue that brings me in today. It's just been a real big struggle to just get outdoors and get out of the house recently.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying that you're having some trouble getting out, just even getting out and going places to meet people. Can you tell me a little bit about when this started?
Yeah, it's been for about 2 years. 2 years ago, I noticed I was just staying in more. I was finding excuses not to meet up with people. It just started to get more frequent that I would find excuses to get out of going to hang out with friends or go out and try to date. I was just finding excuses all the time to not leave about 2 years ago, and it's just gotten progressively worse. Feels like the more I stay at home, the more terrifying it is to leave.
So you said this happened about 2 years ago, correct? What was your life like before prior to you starting to stay home more? And
Yeah, I was in a relationship prior. It didn't end very well. We were, arguing, not communicating well. There was some anger, I think, and some resentment building towards the end. So that was going on right before the 2 years time period.
okay, and your relationship ended.
Poorly, yeah.
Okay. Do you want to talk a little bit about why your relationship ended?
Yes, I can go into that. My partner started to drink heavily. She would have about 5 drinks a night. She would switch from beer to wine, from beer to wine, and when she would do that, I would just feel like that person that I was originally with wasn't there anymore.
So was that really hard for you?
Yeah, that was difficult. I couldn't see it going back to what it was, so it was almost like I was mourning the relationship, because I didn't see a path back to when it was good.
So it sounds like prior to you going into this kind of isolation from other people, you were in a bad relationship, or a relationship that wasn't bad in the beginning, but over time, because of your partner's alcohol use, it got a little bit harder for you to deal with, and because you can see um, it going back to how it was in the beginning, you guys decided to end it. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. I decided to end it.
Okay.
It was it's a tough decision. I've told others that it's hard. I think it's harder to be the one to end a relationship than to be the one that gets dumped or
Right.
gets it ended on. You know.
So after you ended the relationship, how did you feel? How did it make you feel?
Initially, it was like a weight was lifted off my shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
It was a brief freedom, but then right after that, weight came off the shoulders. Fear started to set in about what was out there in the world.
Mm. How long were you with your partner?
We were together for 6 years.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah.
That's a long time to be with someone.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of go back into, the original issue, which is you not being able to get out. It seems as if there's some kind of correlation to your previous relationship and your current state of not really wanting to get out and communicate with others and just find what's out there for you. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's I think it's all related.
Mm-hmm.
I think the word you use there is correlated, and I think you're right.
Mm-hmm.
And it could have something to do with the fact that alcoholism runs in my family.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I've had family members who drink heavily and turn into different people after they do so. So it can it's kind of that's related to it too, I think.
Right. So I want to ask you, how did you deal with that, the alcoholism in your family?
Yeah, I used to be very anti-drinking, and I kind of turned my nose up at people who drank a lot because it was causing issues in my family life. So I would try to just act like I was above it all.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I would deal with it.
So it sounds like, from what you're telling me, you try to just completely be against alcoholism because of what you were seeing in your family, and you saw what it did to the people that you cared about.
Yeah.
So going back to your relationship that ended, was that really triggering for you to see your partner going into some of the same things that you saw in your family?
Yeah. That was it was bringing back memories, that I had not, I guess, processed or dealt with at the time. So, yeah, I would say it's an accurate statement. It kind of triggered some stuff going on.
Mm-hmm. So I kind of want to kind of see the difference between you dealing with it within your family and then dealing with it with your partner. Was it in the same way? Did it make you go back to your old anti-alcohol ways, or do you think that you dealt with it in a different way?
Yeah, it feels like it's manifested itself in a different way. I think I can see now that I still have love for the people who drink heavily. They still mean a lot to me. I don't blame them because now I know that it's a disease, But yeah, the problem for me is manifested in a different way. just don't want to be around anybody.
Mm.
So the way I handle it is different. I just don't know why I'm doing it this way this time.
Right. So I'm hearing that for you this time around, you're actually handling it in a way that you're kind of isolating yourself from anyone completely, rather than before when you were just anti-alcohol, but you were willing to, be around people.
Yeah.
How does it make you feel when you are by yourself?
It makes me feel, makes me feel safe in one way, but it also makes me feel kind of sad in another way. Because I think I can intellectualize that I know that what I'm doing is not healthy, but at the same time, it just makes me feel safe, and like a shield is over me.
Mm. So isolation makes you feel safer. Do you think that you being by yourself is going to protect you from meeting other people who may be dealing with alcoholism?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like if I can just keep that at a distance, then I just won't have to be hurt all over again.
Right. I completely understand what you're saying. So I want to kind of go into ways we can try to change this kind of, I want to be isolated and not be around people. Do you kind of want to meet new people?
Yeah, I think that's a big part of what brought me in here today is I know this is not healthy. I do want to get back out there where I can meet people. So yeah, I definitely want to get back out there.
Okay, so let's try to think about some ways that you can kind of get yourself slowly out there into, having a kind of regular life again, where you kind of communicate with people and you start building these relationships with people, and you may even build relationships with people who are going through the same things as you, and might have that history in their family of alcoholism, and they can try to help you by sharing their experiences with you. What are some healthier ways you think that you can deal with just wanting to feel safer, but actually being able to go out there and still having that feeling of I'm safe, nobody's gonna hurt me, but still being able to keep your relationships with people?
Yeah, I've been hearing about these. I spent a lot of time online. I did hear about some groups, some meetup groups that have some of the same interests as me. So I really like playing Frisbee, and I do know of a group out there that's playing Frisbee. But like I said, I've just been a little too scared to get out there,
Yeah, I think that it's important that you mentioned that you spend a lot of time online, because I think when people think about being online, they don't realize the impact that online relationships can have on you. So even if you're not ready to actually go out there and meet up with the groups, you can communicate with these people in these spaces online and still get that kind of feeling of, okay, I am in my home and I'm safe by myself, but I still have a relationship with these people that I can write a message to and still get that feeling of having that support.
Yeah.
So I think maybe we could look into if there are some online groups for people who have gone through what you've gone through, and just that be the first step to you getting ready to move out and branch out and start embracing other people again. How does that sound?
I could do that. Yeah,
I
that
think
sounds
that
like
sounds
something I
good.
could do. Yeah.
So I want to just kind of give a little recap. So we've already talked about, your issue with isolation and not wanting to be around people. And I think we kind of come to a conclusion, not a conclusion 100%, but two of the reasons why is one, your your past relationship in which you were with a partner who dealt with alcoholism, and then the second, which is you have a family history of dealing with alcoholism, and we've talked about different ways that you have dealt with both of those separately. Now we want to get into more of the healing process and how you can recover from things in your past with your family and your ex, and how you can deal with what's happening with you right now, which is wanting to be isolated and not wanting to be around people. So for the next meeting, and I actually want to give you some homework for the next meeting.
Yeah.
Just do a little bit more research online about different groups you can find online. Maybe there's like groups on Facebook you can get in contact with, just to have a community for you to talk about your issues with, just outside of our therapy session, just to make you kind of feel like you're still in the loop, in a sense, with what's going on in the outside world. So I kind of want you to do that, do a little bit of researching, and in our next session we will just talk about more ways to move forward and kind of dig a little bit deeper into the reasons you listed today, which is why you are kind of isolating yourself. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
I think this was a really great session, and just keep working on what we've talked about, and I'll see you next week.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.